One thing every single person on Earth has in common is this. No matter who you are, no matter where you live, your life will eventually change. Sometimes it's gradual. Sometimes it happens overnight. Sometimes it makes your life better. Sometimes it destroys everything you've ever known. But here's the surprising part. Long before cities, long before farming, long before kingdoms, before history was ever written, change wasn't just an inconvenience. It was often a death sentence. Imagine waking up one morning to discover the forest you've hunted your entire life has disappeared. The animals you depended on have migrated hundreds of miles away. The weather has suddenly become colder than anything you've ever experienced. The familiar path home is now buried beneath ice, flooded by rising water, or swallowed by an expanding desert. There are no maps, no weather forecast, no one to explain what's happening. Only one terrifying question. Now what? If you've watched The Croods, you'll remember Grug's answer to every unfamiliar situation. Never not be afraid. To him, anything new was dangerous. Every strange sound, every unknown place, every new idea could get his family killed. Meanwhile, Guy believed something completely different. The world is changing, and we have to change with it. It makes for a great animated story. But here's what's fascinating. That conflict wasn't just invented by Hollywood. It may have played out countless times throughout real human history. Our ancestors constantly faced changing climates, disappearing food sources, unfamiliar animals, rival human species, and landscapes they had never seen before. Some groups adapted, others didn't. The ones who learned survived. The ones who refused often vanished forever. So how did ancient humans respond when the world refused to stay the same? And if a real cave dweller suddenly woke up in our modern world, could they adapt? Or would they become just another extinct species? This is the greatest survival story ever told. It's easy to imagine prehistoric life as one giant frozen moment. A few caves, a few mammoths, some people carrying spears. Then thousands of years pass without much changing. Reality couldn't have been more different. The Earth, during the last 2 million years, was wildly unpredictable. Ice ages advanced and retreated. Forests became open grasslands. Grasslands transformed into deserts. Sea levels rose, then fell by hundreds of feet, exposing entire land bridges before swallowing them again. To ancient humans, it must have felt as though nature kept rewriting the rules. Imagine spending your entire childhood learning where animals migrate, where berries grow, and where rivers provide fresh water, only for those places to disappear within your lifetime. Every generation inherited a different world from the one before it, and every change forced people to make a decision: stay or leave, fight or adapt. Much like the Croods, staying inside the cave felt safe. After all, if you've survived somewhere for years, why risk everything by wandering into the unknown? Because eventually, the unknown comes to you. When food disappears, staying put isn't safety anymore. It's starvation. Our ancestors slowly learned one of the greatest survival lessons in history. The greatest danger wasn't change itself. It was refusing to change with it. For millions of years, our ancestors didn't live at the top of the food chain. Far from it. They were prey just as often as they were hunters. A walk to find berries could end with a leopard dropping from a tree. A trip to the river could become a deadly encounter with crocodiles. At night, the darkness belonged to lions, hyenas, and giant cats. In many ways, Grug from the Croods wasn't entirely wrong. The world really was dangerous. Being cautious kept people alive, but there was a problem. Fear is excellent at helping you survive today. It isn't very good at helping you survive tomorrow. Sooner or later, every human group faced a moment when caution wasn't enough. Maybe the herd they relied on never returned. Maybe the river dried up. Maybe another human group had already claimed their hunting grounds. Suddenly, they had only two choices: stay where they were and slowly run out of food, or step into territory no one in the group had ever seen before. Imagine being the first person to suggest that journey. There was no guarantee you'd find anything. For all you knew, the land beyond the hills was nothing but predators and empty plains. Every expedition into the unknown was a gamble with life itself, yet someone always took that first step, and that single decision changed human history. Unlike bears, humans weren't born with sharp claws. Unlike wolves, we weren't naturally fast. Unlike mammoths, we weren't incredibly strong. So why are we still here while countless powerful animals disappeared? Because evolution gave us something different. Curiosity. When ancient humans encountered something unfamiliar, they didn't always run away. Sometimes they watched, they experimented, they learned. Imagine someone noticing that certain stones shattered into razor-sharp edges when struck together. Most people probably ignored the broken rocks. One curious individual picked one up. That sharp edge could slice meat faster than teeth. It could scrape hides into clothing. It could cut branches into spears. A random rock suddenly became technology. The same happened with plants. Not every berry was safe to eat. Some made people sick. Some were deadly. Others became reliable food sources. That knowledge wasn't written in books. It was earned through generations of observation, mistakes, and shared experience. Every successful discovery became part of humanity's growing survival toolkit. Little by little, our ancestors stopped reacting to nature and started shaping it. If there was one discovery that completely transformed what it meant to be human, it was fire. At first, fire wasn't something people could create. It came from lightning strikes, volcanic eruptions, or wildfires. To most animals, fire was something to escape. To humans, it became an opportunity. Imagine seeing flames consume an entire forest. Everything around you is running away, but once the fire dies down, something unexpected happens. Dead animals are easier to eat. The burned ground attracts fresh plants. Predators avoid the glowing embers. Instead of fearing fire forever, humans learned to control it. And once they did, everything changed. Fire cooked food, making it softer and safer to eat. It kept dangerous animals at a distance during the night. It provided warmth during freezing winters. It allowed people to survive in regions that would have been impossible before. Perhaps even more importantly, people gathered around it. For the first time, families could stay awake long after sunset. Around those fires, they shared stories, taught children, planned hunts, and passed knowledge from one generation to the next.